Yeah, I'm wrapping up 2023 with the season finale, my own little YouTube rewind, where I go back through the internet's most insufferable worms from this year that I haven't previously covered, and I make fun of them now. Yesterday, it was Illuminati on the chopping block. Today, we're shooting spitballs at Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty's infamy online reached its crescendo about a month ago, hitting its peak, mainly because he became known as just this punching bag. His face was a knuckle sandwich magnet, so most of his viral clips were him getting slapped or being involved in some kind of fight that broke out, because he truly is just an insufferable asshole to be around. Now, make no mistake, don't misconstrue my words, Jack Doherty isn't the one fighting. He's the one getting beat like a drum, and I don't think I've ever seen him throw anything beyond one wet noodle punch that didn't connect. He usually has his bodyguards fight his battles for him, with conflicts that he starts and instigates, but he's around fights all the time. It's just, when you get near Jack Doherty, it's like a Dementor. It sucks the fun out of everything, and everyone gets uncomfortable and mad at him. He just has this indescribable X-Men mutation about him that makes him impossible to be around while also being in a good mood. So I'm going to go ahead and show you his most viral clip that ever came out from him, the legacy for which he will always be remembered. This is his magnum opus.
Go.
Where we at? What? Little Prompt, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Little Prompt? Yeah. Yeah.
This is Jack's iconic shtick, where he walks around causing a ruckus, just being this menace to society, harassing people, and then trying to get a rise out of them. The second someone looks like they're ready to get confrontational with Jack, he has his security guards swoop in and stop it, just put the kibosh on it immediately. He travels with his bodyguards that are basically his babysitters, his nannies, really his guardian angels. They're the only thing that's kept him alive this long, because he is such a piece of shit. Everybody wants to fight him when he does things like this, but his bodyguards protect him. And he still has the gall, the fucking chutzpah, to stand behind his bodyguards, peek his head over, and continue to insult the person. He actually looks like a cartoon villain out of Popeye. Like, look at the way he conducts himself. It's so bad. This would be the most embarrassing moment to somebody else, but for Jack, it's his proudest moment. Now, when it comes to insulting Jack Doherty here, I actually have skin in this game. Just like an 80s action movie tagline, this time it's personal. When I say he is insufferable to be around, I'm not just basing that off of the videos I see of him. I actually know Jack Doherty in real life. In fact, he was in one of my videos 4 years ago, but you probably didn't know that because I did my absolute best to edit him out of it. It's from a video 4 years ago when the local Tampa Police Department challenged me to complete their police academy. This was during the time where I was watching live PD and talking about police activity, making jokes about it. They invited me out there to try it myself. Well, Jack Doherty actually happened to be there on that same day. Despite my best efforts to rewrite history, you can't fully erase the stain. You can see the cringe cryptid right there in the yellow shirt. This is a young Jack Doherty spotting. At the time of filming that video, Jack would have been 16 years old. And I know it's not exactly cool to bully a child, but this wasn't a child, this was a demon. It's not just me that had an extremely negative impression of Jack on that day. Matt, Andrew, Tiana, and the officers all had nothing good to say about their experience being around Jack Doherty for like the 6 hours we were there. He was one of the most disrespectful people I had ever seen in person. For some reason, he was extremely loud most of the day, so anytime he tried to talk, he'd kind of yell it at the officers or anyone he was talking to, I suppose. It was like he was trying to get into a screaming match on an Xbox Live lobby for no reason. Like, I think that was just him trying to be hype for his video or something, but man, it was extremely annoying. But beyond that, anytime we were about to do one of the tests, or if the officers were trying to tell us something about one of the tests, he'd be like interrupting them frequently, and the yelling was giving me a goddamn headache. Like, none of us had anything positive to say about Jack. The only thing is, we all understood that he was a child, and he found internet fame extremely young. So clearly that had a poisonous effect on his mind, and we had all just kind of expected that he's going through a phase most likely, and he'd eventually grow out of this. But not only did he not grow height-wise, he also didn't grow personality-wise. His attitude is exactly the same. His face looks exactly the same as when he was a 13-year-old boy, which is highly unlucky for him, and maybe that explains why he lashes out so often. But overall, over the last 4 years, he's just gotten worse. He's gotten more degenerate, more aggressive, more hostile, and he's just a giant piece of shit now. Since he's had internet fame for so long, he truly believes that he is some kind of deity, this kind of internet god, and everyone is beneath him. He thinks he's superior to just the plebeians around him, so he uses all the strangers he comes in contact with on stream as props for his content, and his big thing is still basically having his bodyguard protect him all of the time, which is so fucking pathetic. But anyway, let's dive into a bit more of the Sack Doherty lore. So he makes most of his money through OnlyFans. He manages a lot of OnlyFans girls, as well as having an OnlyFans of his own, which I think if you sign up for that, you need to be put on some kind of FBI watch list, because this looks like a child. That is a very fucking awful OnlyFans page to be subscribing to. You probably need to be investigated. But he makes all of his money there, basically, and he will never let you forget he is making a lot of money through managing these OnlyFans models. He frequently posts these flexes, talk shit all you want, you wish you could spend this much on your credit card in just 2 weeks, and it's just an absurd amount of money that he's dumping on garbage. He posts these at least once a week, and it's clearly engagement farming. He's just baiting people into getting mad at him and just shitting on him, because he's realized that that is his formula to success. He'll just cosplay as the communal urinal for the internet to collectively come take a piss in, because it gets him a little money off of like the Twitter posts, but maybe it gets him a couple extra OnlyFans subscribers or a few curious kids that'll watch his stream to see what kind of degeneracy unfolds. He's basically playing the villain. He's leaning into the role. I always find this to be an extremely sad path to take, because he is actually just becoming the clown on purpose, and eventually he's going to grow up. It's going to happen at some point, and it's going to be nothing but shame for him, I imagine, because who in the world would possibly want the legacy of just being the hated douchebag? That's not something to be proud of. Even if you do have a lot of money in your bank account from it, I can't imagine it feels good to explain to your friends and family how you got that money, because everyone dislikes you and makes fun of you. Like, there's no way that that's a rewarding experience. I don't think there's any reason to show you any more of his clips. They're all just infuriating garbage. It's just eye-rolling trash. Like, even just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, he got into a confrontation with a bouncer over, like, a fake ID or something, according to the headlines. And it's once again just Sack Doherty being the little goblin that he is. Just this little douchebag. And just an entitled asshole. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about him a little bit since I haven't talked about him all year, and I do actually know him. I'm using know really loosely. I met him one time, but that was enough to get an extremely accurate gauge on the kind of person he was then, and all I could do was pray that he wouldn't be that person in the future. But he became so much worse down the line, which is almost impressive, actually. So yeah, just wanted to talk about him a little bit. That's it. So yeah. I remember in high school, my Spanish teacher had a poster on the wall that said, "We all smile in the same language," and I thought that was wholesome and cute. We all inhabit this space rock, and we all have our differences, but a smile, well, that's something we all share in common. And another thing that every single person on this planet shares in common is our disdain for this streamer. There's not a soul on this earth that actually likes this guy. His own community only follows him to try and get him arrested or beat up. And when it comes to those two metrics, his community is more successful than the Beatles. The amount of times that his chat has gotten him beat up or arrested is incredible. Like, this man can't go live without getting his shit pushed in or it finishing with him in handcuffs, all because he's following the chat's advice. And he's so delusional he doesn't recognize that they're only there watching, waiting for him to get hurt, and nothing else. They're laughing at him, not with him, but he doesn't recognize that. And he does all of this ridiculous shit with a goofy, stupid smile on his face as he ruins his life live for the entertainment of his audience that's treating him as like a human experiment. So, I've talked about him before, everyone's talked about him before. He's the public nuisance streamer that travels the globe and just makes everyone's lives miserable around him by harassing them, spamming racist insults at them, disrespecting the cultures that he visits, and he keeps getting arrested.
Oh, you a bad bitch, I swear to God. You a bad bitch, I'll take you to dinner. I swear to God, I'll change your life. I'll change your life, baby. Baby, I'll change your life, I promise you. You a bad bitch right here. I change your life, baby girl. You know, I'm in the sidewalk. I'm in the sidewalk. Don't touch me. I'm in the sidewalk. I'm in the sidewalk. Okay. I'll go. What the fuck? Okay, let's go. Relax. America. I'm in the sidewalk. I'm from America. What are you doing?
This is from one of his more recent arrests in Israel. You can see him start to panic and spamming "I'm American" as if that's somehow going to save him here, like that's his safe word that's going to get him out of this situation. It's like, oh my god, pardon me, I didn't realize you were American. Let me dust you off. Fucking goober. But yeah, this is how his streams go. He just causes as many problems as possible for his audience, and then it either ends with him missing some teeth or him missing some freedom in a prison cell. But unfortunately, no matter how many times he gets arrested, for some reason, they keep releasing him. They keep letting him out of the slammer. And I do have a bit of a conspiracy theory, so excuse the tinfoil hat here. But I have to think the authorities keep letting him out of the slammer because they're in on the joke, and they know if he gets out, the cycle's going to continue, and he's just going to go out there and get beat up by another stranger, because he is a knuckle sandwich magnet. Any stranger with a fist somehow finds this man's face and just fucking pounds his flesh to bits. It happens so often. He is a sentient punching bag with a pulse, but somehow has even less of a personality than a punching bag would. But it is admittedly very entertaining watching him get fucking brutalized every time he goes live from problems he himself starts with people. Honestly, I'm surprised he doesn't beg just to stay in jail. Like, it's probably safer for him there. Because I don't even think he's ever even thrown a punch back during any of these altercations. He just, like, his arms are like limp noodles, I guess. Because anytime that someone starts beating him up, he just sits there and fucking takes it. It's like they're just beating up a corpse at that point. Like, it's so weird. This guy's a fucking loser. Everyone knows that. I'm not even going to bother saying his name because he's just a vermin whose brain is so poisoned by clout that the only thing he thinks matters in the world is attention. He needs attention more than he needs oxygen, so I'm not going to be saying his name. I'm sure you've already seen this NPC plastered all over the internet. He's one of those very few unifying moments that brings everyone together because we all dislike him the exact same. It's one of those things where no matter our differences, we can all come together and spit on this guy together, because he super sucks. He's just an absolutely deplorable, worthless piece of shit. So, you might remember him most notably from his infamous Japan trip where he spent 90 days in jail, and then he got released. You know, he was talking about how he'll never make videos again or whatever, and then the second he's out of Japan, he immediately goes right back to doing it and starts gloating in their face about how, like, he got away with it and it was all unjust and all that, and then immediately goes to Israel just to do the same shit again, gets arrested, and does more shit like this.
I'm America. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me, bitch. I'm from America, bitch. Don't touch me. I'm from America, bitch. Don't touch me. I'll slap that ass. I'll grab it, too. Donald Trump told me grab it by the pussy. I'll grab that, too. Stop playing with me, bitch. I'll grab it by the pussy right here, nigga. I don't give a fuck.
Influenza is more likable than this guy, and also for someone who apparently doesn't give a fuck, you sure are super sensitive about people making fun of you and hurting your feelings. He was threatening to sue YouTubers that made fun of him. He somehow thinks that this is a flex. He's trying to say it's defamation, libel, and slander, and that he's going to be issuing cease and desists. I'm honestly impressed that his spelling is correct here. I thought for sure he was close to illiterate, but maybe he had his lawyers draft up this tweet. But then again, his voice really does shine through with the last statement. It's gonna feel so good spending your YouTube ad revenue on coke and hookers. Yeah, that really sounds so hard. You can't get pussy unless you pay for it. What a big alpha male man you are, brother. But anyway, this is a bunch of hooey. This is a bunch of barnacles. Like, what a load of fish paste. There's no way he has the capacity to sue anyone because his lawyers are way too deep into fighting all of his criminal charges across the globe. They're having their own, like, Avengers Endgame moment with all of these lawsuits from all of these different countries. There's no way they'd have time to tackle some YouTuber squabble. I don't even know why I'm pretending for even a second that this is real. There is a 0% chance that he has any lawyers at all. This is just a sniveling worm flexing his non-existent lats for his community that treats him like Bozo the Clown, where they can toss tomatoes at him while they watch him ruin his life for their entertainment. He doesn't have anyone in his corner, let alone some lawyers. This man is totally fucking alone, and the only solace he finds is in going live so that way his audience can cheer as he gets his ass fucking pounded into oblivion on the sidewalk per usual. What a miserable existence that is. I don't even know why he's even trying to put on this facade that he has lawyers or any ability to have a lawsuit against somebody. I guess if there was to be a deeper message of this video besides just making fun of this pathetic person, it would be that I really hope at some point he does get thrown in jail for an extremely long period of time. He breaks so many laws and broadcasts it proudly online and makes a mockery out of all of the legal systems that he's taking advantage of here because he keeps getting released. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Keep him in prison for this shit. It'd be totally understandable and it'd be a huge PR win. That's such a rare occurrence where you can get an absolute PR slam dunk by locking up a live streamer. You would get applause and fist pumps out the wazoo from the entire cyberspace if you announced, we are not releasing him anytime soon. He will spend this many years in jail for the following crimes that he committed and broadcast online. Make an example out of him. Like, I don't know how he keeps getting away with it. But yeah, he is still currently doing the same shit, and he will continue to do so until he is eventually either dead from this or in jail for a long period of time. So I just wanted to talk about it and make fun of him again. That's really about it. So yeah. There's an expression called misery loves company, and today I realized that that's kind of like the philosophy of how I live my life. Whenever I see something that makes me upset, I share it with all of you. If I see something that's embarrassing or gross and yucky, I make sure all of you have to see it and experience it as well. If I have to be traumatized by turbo cringe, so does everybody else. I go full scorched earth, I salt the soil, making sure everyone also has to feel my agony. And I even do that in real life with my friends too. Like if I eat a piece of food that I'm a little concerned might not be fully cooked, like a little raw, and I get concerned about like a foodborne illness, I'll see if any of my friends will eat it too, so that way we can share in the sickness together so I'm not alone. It's always met with a resounding no and go fuck yourself, but I at least still do give the attempt. Point is, today I realized that I do that a lot, and I'm about to do it again. There is a trend of streamers that I've talked about quite a few times over the last few years that always make me infuriated. It is the distracted drivers streamers. I'm sure you've seen a lot of streams that take place in a car where a streamer is literally reading chat while driving. It is unbelievably dangerous, irresponsible, and just an absolute terrible thing to do. And I'm always surprised that there's not more huge accidents that occur as a result of it. It of course not only endangers their life, but the lives of all of the innocent people on the road around them, simply because the streamer can't fight the urge to look at chat to read Omega lol and look at ASCII art of some big tits. It's fucking stupid. Now it is bannable on Twitch. I'm not saying that they're flying under the radar and Twitch is doing nothing about it. When Twitch is made aware of a streamer that is clearly reading chat while driving, they do take action. Now that's not to say that all driving streams are prohibited, because they are still allowed as long as a passenger is the one that's reading chat, not the driver, so that way it's a little bit safer. But unfortunately, about once a month, there's some little worms that pop out from the shadow that decide to do a driving stream because they're the main character of life, they're the fucking protagonist, and everyone else on the road is just their props, so they'll hop in their car and just be reading chat the whole time from their phone, putting everyone around them at risk. And that brings us to my least favorite streamer on Twitch. I'm not going to say her name, but 3 days ago, she was streaming while driving, reading chat on her phone, and she ran over someone's dog. And I'm clearly not going to show you the actual running over the dog because it's very hard to watch and extremely hard to listen to because the animal is wailing in pain for like 45 seconds before the clip cuts off. It's fucking awful.
Stukło przed chwilą. Nie wiesz jak to... Jezus, ile tu psów! Pewnie jakaś macieczkę.
It's at that moment she runs over somebody's pet because she was too busy reading chat on her phone. She even mentioned that there were a lot of dogs around, and then still made the decision to constantly be reading fucking chat. And it's not like they were saying anything insightful. Like, you can see the chat right there on the screen. There's nothing that is urgent that she needs to be looking down for. It's not like some kind of fucking speed situation where she needs to be reading chat every X amount of seconds or the car's gonna blow up. She could have just not done that, and the person's pet would have probably not been hit. So this fucking clown here that's dressed like Curious George couldn't help but be reading her fucking chat and then ran over a dog. Clearly this made me very upset, so I wanted to share it with all of you so you'd also be upset. Good news is she did get banned for this, but I also think she should be facing criminal charges. Distracted driving, texting while driving, all of that. It's not a joke. Like, at all. And this is a step above texting and driving, I would argue. Because if you go back and watch her clips, she is staring at that phone for like fucking 5-10 seconds at a time. It's not even like she's just like doing one of these. Not that that's any better. But like she was like reading it as if she was like trying to get through a goddamn like Magic Treehouse book on her phone. You know, you would have thought that she was going over important legal documents with the amount of time she spent fucking reading her phone in the car while driving. Obviously, this situation gets me heated. I'm like a microwave with tinfoil in it right now. It is extremely upsetting to see this happen, and this is far from the only case of it. It's just the most recent. There's been plenty of car accidents from streamers reading chat, but usually it just involves them getting into single car accidents like this goofball here who crashed into a parking barrier while reading chat. I also remember seeing one on YouTube where a guy was arguing with someone in chat and then ran a stop sign and got T-boned by a fucking semi-truck. It looked like something out of a Final Destination movie. And to make it worse, he clearly lost the argument because he got hit by a fucking car while arguing. That's an instant L on that entire confrontation, so the chatter even walked away with the dub. It's not uncommon, it's not that rare. Somehow there's always these pathetic little worms, smooth-brained, stupid-head idiots that'll pop on a live stream and then just start reading chat while driving, and it leads to situations like this. And among all of these champions of Darwinism is my least favorite streamer, that lady I just showed you. She was a Polish streamer before she got banned for this, and hopefully she faces criminal charges for it as well. I definitely think that's appropriate, or at the very least, losing her license. I've always been very open and honest about my stance of drunk drivers and how there's absolutely no sympathy I feel for anyone drunk driving. I think the laws should absolutely slap the fuck out of them. Drunk driving has no excuse, and I feel the same about distracted driving when it's as blatant as this. It's been translated what she was saying, and she said, according to this, "Jesus, how many dogs are here?" And then after saying that, goes right back to looking at her phone. So she recognized that there were dogs around the area, and then still decided to read chat because she had got a little notification. That's like actual baby brain shit. It makes me question if she ever developed object permanence. She took notice of dogs around the area, and then assumed they vanished when she looked at her phone or something, like, oh, I can't see them anymore, they must have just fucking phased out of existence, and then she hits one. Like, that is some shit like out of a video game, when you critique, like, bad AI in a game. Like, when a guard sees you, he's like, oh, who is that? I see you over there. But then you like go into a tall bush and he's like, must have been the wind. Like, that's her brain. Like, that must be like how her mind works. The second she can't see something, it ceases to exist. It's clearly very frustrating to me. And I just wanted to vent about this after seeing it today. I just wanted to share it with all of you so you could also be upset about it. And I just wanted to show you who my least favorite Twitch streamer is now. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya. In the late 90s, a very popular Japanese game show tortured a man for a year and broadcast it every Sunday night. This isn't like reality TV where it's all fake and scripted, not to ruin Christmas for all the believers out there. This was legitimately torturing another human being for the sake of entertainment. And it was extremely popular, averaging 17 million viewers every Sunday night that they'd play the clips. That's absolutely massive even by today's standards. It's more viewers than the last 4 years of the NBA Finals and the World Series. And obviously more than most television shows get. For reference, The Boys season premiere got around 8 million viewers, and according to YouTuber Atrocity Guide, who also covered this story, the most viewed episode of Game of Thrones got around 16 million viewers, so it even beats that. Just an absolutely massive success, but it doesn't stop there. The producers knew there was still a little milk left in those teats and they wanted to suckle. So they actually turned it from just a weekly broadcast into a full-blown live stream where you could log on online and watch him suffer in real time. So whenever you were just feeling particularly quirky, you could hop in there and watch a man be miserably tortured for the better part of a year. Doesn't that sound like fun? What a great way of starting the day. A nice bowl of cereal and milk for breakfast and watching a man's sanity slowly deteriorate as he dances around naked in absolute agony. Wonderful. This is the story of Nasubi. As I briefly mentioned, another YouTube channel named Atrocity Guide made a great video on this topic, but I wanted to go even deeper. So we, Caleb, Chelsea, and I really did a fucking thorough deep dive, spreading the foul cheeks of this situation wide open, going through live streams, all of the broadcast clips, in order to really get a handle on just how vile this whole thing was. So let's begin. In 1998, a popular Japanese game show named Susanoo Dimpa Shonen held a raffle to find their next contestant for an upcoming show they were working on called A Life of Prizes. Nasubi ended up winning the lottery and was ecstatic. He believed this was going to be a big break for him since he was also an up-and-coming comedian, and he was escorted to a small apartment where he was then instructed to take off all of his clothes in order to participate in the game. The challenge was he would have to survive in this apartment on nothing but his winnings from sweepstakes. They only provided him with water, and he was told that he would not be allowed to leave or communicate with the outside world or have any access to anything that he didn't directly earn through magazine sweepstakes. He was told that he'd need to win 1 million yen, which at the time, 1998, was right around 8,000 US dollars, through only mail-in magazine sweepstakes in order to complete the challenge and be released from the room. And yes, this does include food. They didn't provide him with any food. The only food he'd have access to is the food that he earns through mail-in sweepstakes. It just feels like there were better odds of a bird carrying $10,000 in its mouth crashing through the apartment window than actually earning 10 grand through mail-in sweepstakes. This shit is like something you would actually hear of like fucked up prison guards at Guantanamo Bay doing as like a joke or something. It's so cruel and brutally difficult. But Nasubi did actually pull it off. It took Nasubi 335 days total to finally make enough money to be released from it. Or at least, so you'd think. This is actually only the tip of the iceberg here, but I just want to give you the story in a nutshell. And I also want to explain the name Nasubi, because that's not actually the contestant's real name. His actual name is Tomoaki Hamatsu. The name Nasubi actually means eggplant, and he got this because the producers used an eggplant to censor his genitals for the broadcast, and they also said that his head resembled the shape of an eggplant. The whole point of the Susanoo Dimpa Shonen broadcast here was to laugh at Nasubi, and people were. 17 million people having an old hoot and a holler, real side-splitting comedy, watching a man be legitimately tortured. Nasubi believed that he was being recorded and that the clips were going to be re-edited and broadcast for TV, so he would come in and like update people on what he's doing, like, I just won this can of cat food, I just won this bicycle, and then he'd like dance around and try and make it entertaining, but he never knew that he was being live streamed the whole time. He was under the impression that it was just going to be moments from the challenge. Not that every excruciating second of this challenge was being broadcast to all of Japan. Extremely fucked situation, and this is just the bare outline of it. What I want to do for this video is actually go through a lot of clips and moments from this live stream and the broadcast, as well as just everything surrounding it, because it is so baffling. It is bizarre that this actually happened. I remember Vsauce did a video on what happens to the mind when you're cut off from stimulation in the outside world for an extended period of time. And unsurprisingly, it is so psychologically damaging to be completely alone and isolated like Nasubi was. And Vsauce only did like a few days. Nasubi did over a year, 15 months total.
なんと脱いで書いていると
はい
誰かが来た、
はい
宅急便、
やった来た第1号
気分フードケミファさんのファイバーゼリー12個入りでございます。
いただきます。
This was Nasubi's first big win, a fat dubski. He was able to secure 12 pots of fiber jelly. I don't know what the fuck fiber jelly is. I've never heard of it in my life. That sounds like a made-up substance in the movie Snowpiercer, but it was huge for Nasubi because it's his first bit of food since this started, so he was extremely hungry, and was able to get some nutrients. This wasn't the first thing he applied for, though. The first sweepstakes he was entering were for clothing items. He wanted to cover up, obviously, because being naked is going to be cold, uncomfortable, especially since it's being filmed. So he had applied for an apron first, but he didn't win.
やった!また何か当たったんだ。
はい。
お名前出してもらいたいと思いまして。
あ、はい、わかりました。はい。
当然か？
まずラーメン。全部で1700円になります。すいません、間違えました。
Obviously, since Nasubi was trapped in isolation, cut off from the rest of the world, he cherished every single knock at that door. It was the only bit of human interaction he gets. So he'd get excited, and of course he's expecting to win something, since why else would someone be knocking at the door? So he gets really hyped up, like, hey, finally something came that's going to help me get closer to completing this challenge, or maybe it's food and I'm starving. But that wasn't always the case. Like in these two clips here, sometimes it was just fucking cruel, where a postman knocked on his door just to let him know that he needs to put his name on the mailbox or some shit, and then also someone put the wrong address for a ramen delivery, so he couldn't even have the ramen after smelling it. It was just really sad to see.
米か？
でんでねー。
米だ。ナスに米。
お米5キロです。
Finally, it seems fortune's looking up for Nasubi here. He's able to secure 5 kilograms of rice. But then things get heartbreaking when he realizes he has no way of cooking the rice, because he'd need to win a pot from a sweepstakes in order to use it. So he just has 5 kilograms of rice that he can't cook. It's fucking terrible. You know, like, it's a treasure that you can't have. So he gets desperate and he starts resorting to eating the rice raw.
ママグロをかじる。
お願いします。おかゆにでもちゃんとなってください。申し訳ないですけどね。ちょっとこれは失敗じゃないですか？ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってよ、これ。
実験成功。
見て。
Unable to continue eating the rice raw, Nasubi knew he needed to find some way to cook it, so he went full fucking Jimmy Neutron here. He hatched an idea to put the rice into one of the jelly fiber containers, and he put hot water in it, left it out overnight, hoping to make it somewhat cooked. As you can see in the clip, he said, even if it's gruel, just make it into something. It didn't work at all. So he came up with another plan to put it in the fiber jelly container, put it in the hot water, and set it next to the gas burner. So that way it would kind of cook it by proxy. And this worked. It was able to cook the rice, and now he had an efficient way of actually eating that rice that he won.
自転車に乗ってご飯が食えるんだから。幸せだな、僕は。ね。
Slowly but surely, Nasubi was chipping away at that million yen goal, winning more and more prizes, such as a bicycle, which on the surface seems pretty useless since he couldn't take it outside, but he turned it into a stationary bike, and I'm sure that was like a good way of stimulating him, because what the fuck else are you gonna do? So he'd eat his watery rice while pedaling on the bicycle, and he started gathering more and more winnings. It started to look like my fucking dorm room from college, just a bicycle and all kinds of miscellaneous shit all over the place.
来ましたね、見事に。いやいや、やってみるもんですね。ほら。
お米の炊き方98年3月版ニューバージョンです。
やっちゃってるよ、これ。もう。トレビアン。
He also upgraded his whole cooking operation by using a pin and a can of sake. He was able to create a pretty efficient cooking apparatus, so he was able to make rice more efficiently. He was even able to cook spaghetti now. So he was really like climbing up the tech tree here by just being an absolute fucking genius. And it's also worth noting, some of the more useless things he won, like the bicycle, wasn't entirely worthless because that helped increase the value of his winnings, bringing him closer to that million yen mark. So even if he couldn't get a ton of usage out of it directly, just having it in the room was beneficial because it gets him closer to being done with the challenge.
瞬間が訪れようとしている。しかし。
でもちょっと厳しいね。 こんな
小さすぎた。
こんな感じになっちゃうね、ちょっとね。
Now, it's been about 2 months in this clip here, and according to Atrocity Guide, Nasubi submitted 5,748 sweepstakes entries in the first month. So you can imagine that he's right around that 11,000, 12,000 sweepstake entry ballpark, and he is just now winning his first article of clothing, which are used panties from someone named Hitomi-chan. I want to say I had no idea the used panty market spanned this far back in time. This is 1998. I thought soiled panties, used socks, and bath water were things women started selling within the last decade to take advantage of like internet sales. I had no idea that this was a popular market all the way back into the 90s. But anyway, Nasubi wins these panties. It's his only article of clothing he's won so far, but they don't fit, unfortunately.
名前つけてあげないとね、かわいそうだね。そうだ、ナスビのお友達でビーナス
ナスビ、ビーナス連れて初めてのお散歩。
I found this one to be extraordinarily sad, so still around 2 months now. He's had no contact with any human beings aside from the delivery guy just dropping off his winnings. He wins a stuffed seal which he names Binasu and takes him for a walk. It's his only source of companionship. That shit just breaks my heart to see. I'm not gonna lie.
すげえ肉だ。5枚も肉。
貧乏芸人の日常生活においてステーキの4文字なんて想像だにしなかった。
肉をボールペンに刺して炙り始めた。5分後。
美味しそう。
ナスビにとって最高級の食べ物、ステーキを今まさに食べようとする瞬間。
This is his first time winning a direct source of protein. Up until this point, his diet was mainly just the rice and like spaghetti. So he'd be getting trace amounts of protein, but never something like steak. His macros had to be so fucked from this, but he finally gets steak, and he cooks it by using a ballpoint pen to cook it over the direct flame. And he gets to eat it and is super happy about it. I'd also like to highlight something in that note he wrote. He said, in the life of a poor comedian, he's only used the word steak in his imagination. I think this is big because prior to this challenge, Nasubi wasn't a popular comedian in Japan. He wasn't well off or anything like that. This was his big break, which is why he was so excited to be part of this show. And then he gets tortured. It's so fucking cruel. Like, you can't help but feel absolutely horrible for this guy.
当たった。
電車でガッ。
さらに。
専用コントローラー好き。
運転手はナスビ、車掌はビーナスってな風に。
かな。
加熱しないで食べるつもりだ。
うん。全然いける。美味しい美味しい。うん。すべてビーナス君のおかげだ。
He wins a PlayStation game as well as a special controller for it, but he doesn't have a PlayStation or a TV to play it on. He then also wins raw pork and raw crab and eats it raw because he didn't really have an efficient way of cooking those. And you can see that he talks a lot to the stuffed seal. This is very much like a Castaway situation with Wilson. When you're deprived of human contact for as long as Nasubi has been, you start to try and find ways of being social. Humans are social creatures by nature, which is why it's so torturous to be deprived of that. It's fucking brutal. It's been right around 3 months by this point, and he is not even halfway done to the million yen goal.
3ヶ月ぶりの掃除スタート。
テレビですテレビ。まあ1は映んねえのか。アップするよこれで。
そのものとは。
歯ブラシと歯磨きのセットです。
He's able to win a vacuum cleaner, which enables him to clean the room for the first time in 3 months, and then wins a TV, which would have been great because he'd finally have some source of entertainment, but unfortunately, since there was no antenna, it was useless because it would only play static. And he still didn't have a PlayStation to play the PlayStation game that he won, so the TV was just a source of fucking white noise, I suppose. And then he finally gets something really, really useful, which is a toothbrush and toothpaste, which lets him brush his teeth for the first time in 3 months.
白衣を着た人現る。
健康チェックに来ただけです。
全く問題ありません。ナスビさんは健康であると認めます。
This is one component that I always see left out for all of the publications or videos that talk about the horror of the Nasubi story. They actually had a doctor come in and check up on him. The staff wanted to make sure that he wasn't like on the brink of death or that he hadn't contracted any like serious disease or anything. So they had a doctor come in, take his vitals, also did like a blood and urine test, or so they claim, and then gave him a clean bill of health. Now, assuming that that's all legitimate and not just, theatrics for the television program, I would still say this doesn't take into account the actual torture this man is enduring. Like, even if his vitals are okay, he doesn't have a disease or any, like, big alarming health concerns. This is a man that has been deprived of sunlight, socialization, entertainment, and just basic human needs for 3 months by this point. So even if all of the blood work and all of that is within normal limits, this is a man who is still very much not okay. And to try and make it seem like, no, everything's great, Nasubi's happy, and this is a totally fine by the books thing, look, the doctor even says so, is even more scummy and shitty.
嫌なことに気づいてしまった。命の源お米が米袋の底に溜まってる程度になってしまってる。
ついに今日で最後か。これが最後のお米です。はい、ドッグフードです。
すると、
まずい。
ドッグフードです。
Somehow, the story keeps getting more tragic. The rice that he won on the 20th day was finally running out, and he was unable to win any more during this time. So he resorted to eating dog food, and dog food became the primary thing that he was eating. It was like his main diet. So he was surviving off dog food. And another thing that I've seen brought up a few times that I also question is the legitimacy of like what shows up, because it would have been very easy for producers to intercept things that Nasubi had won if they were too helpful. Like, I find it very odd that the only thing Nasubi won in terms of clothing throughout all 15 months was a pair of panties. That seems so unrealistic. I really think there may have been foul play, and this is just a conspiracy, where the producers intercepted clothes in order to keep him naked for the sake of the comedy of the show. And I think that there could have been a lot of cases like that. There's also nothing that would have stopped them from sending things he didn't win, like dog food. He may have never, entered a dog food sweepstakes, and they could have sent it to him in order to further humiliate and torture him for the audience. There's just so much shit in here that is beyond cruel and unusual. Like, it blows my mind that this is something that actually happened to a real human being.
神よ、我に生きる力を与えきり、米です。じゃんじゃんじゃん。米はだって。
Luckily, he was able to win rice 3 months later. He won 10 kilograms of rice about 3-ish months after mainly surviving off dog food, as well as a couple of other foods that he'd win here and there. But dog food for a while was like his primary source of nutrition. And then he finally gets rice again. Now, it's been about 6 months-ish, and he is finally halfway to the goal. In 6 months, he reaches the halfway point. According to Atrocity Guide, he has submitted 38,000 entries by this point. 38,000 sweepstakes entries in 6 months, and he is only halfway to the goal.
大丈夫だ。
この時ナスビは思った。
終わりですか。100万いったんですか。いってない。意味がわからないんですけど、全然。うわー、車やった、動いてる動いてる。これはまあ全部揃ってるというか、引っ越しっていうことなんですか。
Just when you thought it couldn't get more fucked up. So what happened here is this show was so popular, people eventually found out where Nasubi was being held. So there was paparazzi, reporters, and everything that all were crowding around the space, so the producers moved him to an identical space where no one would know where he was. It was super far away. It was like 5 hours away, I believe. And this whole time, Nasubi thought, oh, I must have won. But it turns out he didn't. They were just moving him to continue the game in a different location. It looks like actual kidnapping, and to a certain extent it is. The entire time, Nasubi is kind of delirious. He hasn't talked to people in a long time. He even says his mind is clouded with anxiety, and he's saying things that don't make any sense. He's unable to really talk to people or talk around people in general. He's like completely lost that ability due to right around 6 months in total isolation.
しかし、この企画が放送されていることを知らないナスビに、プロデューサーは
演技担ぎ。
じゃあ私のためってことですね、これは。
身に余る光栄です。
The team told Nasubi that he was moved to a new location for renewed luck, so better fortune at a new spot, because they didn't want to tell him the real reason that they were relocating him, so they came up with that, and I'm pretty sure Nasubi doesn't believe them because he kind of laughs about it, saying, oh, so it's for my own benefit. I think he's very well aware now that this is a pretty fucking evil team of producers here, and whatever reason they had for moving him probably wasn't for his own benefit.
国屋のこれは椅子と机が当たったってことなのかな、これは。社長気分っつうのかね。
当選第1号、国与のパーソナルデスク&チェア。
操作しづらいんですよね、爪が邪魔でね。爪がこんなになっちゃってるからね。
His first win in the new location actually is a fucking fat one. He gets a new desk, a new chair. They're both relatively expensive too, so it's a great victory for him. And he shows his nails. The nail growth is outrageous. He hasn't been able to trim them in about 6 months now. Like, he is genuinely a prisoner here, and it shows.
With this room switch, producers decided to offer a live web stream alternative, causing them to digitally follow Nasubi around with a joystick in order to censor his genitalia. As you can see, the quality of the live stream is primitive, but keep in mind this is in the late 90s.
I couldn't actually find a high quality clip showing how they censored the live stream or did the live broadcast, so this comes from Atrocity Guide as well. What they did is the producers had a whole team that was dedicated to following Nasubi around with a joystick like they were playing a fucking arcade game with a sensor to keep his dick and balls off the screen. And they live streamed him. They wanted to offer a real-time alternative instead of just doing like the weekly Nasubi update with clips. They wanted 24/7 Nasubi coverage for anyone that wanted to go watch. So this was pretty innovative for its time. I think it's definitely one of the first like actual around-the-clock live streams that ever actually aired. It's pretty impressive.
ウィダーインゼリーが当たってかれこれ2週間当選がない。
ここまでね、当たんないっつうのもなかなか久しぶりの出来事でね。
車で移動。着いたところは
ちょっといいよ。
いいっすか。
ナスビのあまりの運のなさに見かねたスタッフは当選運の上昇を願い2度目の引っ越しを決めたのだった。
So Nasubi initially had a good string of luck at the new location. I believe, according to Atrocity Guide, he had done 17,000 entries and won decent stuff, but then hit a really bad cold streak, even ran out of food at one point, so the producers did move him again to another location to help him out in winning more prizes, I suppose. And it worked, because he did win more prizes.
ビデオデッキを頭にぶつけ当選の舞。
ほんと10ヶ月ぶりにね、トイレットペーパーに触ったよ、本当に。
He finally wins food again and really celebrates getting some potato chips, and he also gets a VHS player, which will be nice to go with the TV, assuming he ever wins a VHS tape to play it. But I think the most important thing he wins here is toilet paper. This is the first time he's had toilet paper in his entire stay. 10 months so far. And to celebrate, he tries to take a shit just out of frame, but was unable to. So an unsuccessful mission there, but at least he finally has toilet paper.
それは8ヶ月前のこと。
電車でゴーコントローラー好き。
6ヶ月前。
おー、来たよ。とりあえずまず電車でGO!
Now this is by far the meatiest win he's gotten so far, a PlayStation. That's pretty expensive, especially during this time period, and it also enables him to have real entertainment for the first time in 10 months. This is like a moment that's straight out of like Civilization, where you climb up the tech tree slowly but surely. 8 months prior to this, he won a PlayStation 1 game, Densha de Go, which also had the special controller to go with it. Couldn't play it, obviously, at the time. 6 months ago, he won a TV. So he had a PlayStation game, a controller, a TV, but no console. He finally got that last missing piece of the puzzle, the console, and is able to play PlayStation games now. Well, the single PlayStation game he's won. And what's really interesting about this is his first piece of actual entertainment he's had since being fucking imprisoned here. But also, and this was pointed out by Caleb, this would make him the world's first video game live streamer, because this is all being live streamed. All of this is a live broadcast, and he spent 4 straight days playing his PlayStation. So for 4 straight days, he was being streamed playing a game. This man was the patient zero of streaming. He walked so Twitch could run.
一心不乱で電車で GO に熱中するナスビ。電車で GO 3日目に突入。
金プレステでございます。
He played so much Densha de Go that he had to ban himself from playing it further so he could focus on entering into more sweepstakes and getting closer to freedom. So he stopped playing the game, went back to writing entries, and he was able to do it. He pulled off the last remaining prizes he needed to reach that million yen mark.
一歩間違えてダイヤにしてくれてれば。
今回当たったタイヤが8万4000円。つまり現在の総額は96万9114円。
The tires put him extremely close to completing the challenge. He was right at the finish line here, so close he could throw the Densha de Go disc right over the finish line. Only a couple more wins would secure this, and he was able to pull it off. The final item he won that put him over the million yen threshold was a bag of rice. But Nasubi didn't know he won. It had been 335 straight days of constant, non-stop, relentless filling out of sweepstakes in order to win these prizes. 335 days of torture, and Nasubi had finally reached the finish line, but didn't know it.
ゴールを祝いクラッカーで祝福。
100万になったってことですか？11ヶ月と1日前に脱がされた私の服ですね。
Per usual, the producers come in like a group of burglars during the night and start popping party poppers in his face, which scares the shit out of him and really confuses him. They eventually explain that he did win, he made 1 million yen, and they give him his clothes back. It's been 11 months and 1 day, and this is the first time Nasubi's putting clothes on in that entire time frame. So when he puts them on, he says that it's uncomfortable and itchy, but he's very, very, very happy to be done with the contest and glad that he's completed it. But that's not where this story ends. The producers took Nasubi to Korea, telling him it was a celebration for completing the game and for all of his hard work. So they went to an amusement park, he ate a lot of great food, he had a wonderful, incredible time, and then things got real fucked up.
そこは
脱いで。人は韓国の憲章だけで生きていけるか。
ナスビ大ショック。
Nasubi was making them far too much money. The producers weren't done suckling from this cash cow's teat, so they trapped Nasubi in Korea. The goal this time wasn't 1,000,000 yen. This time he was going to have to enter sweepstakes in Korea, which he didn't speak Korean, so he had to use a Korean to Japanese dictionary to translate. His goal was to enter the sweepstakes, win prizes enough to afford a plane ticket from Korea to Japan. That was the objective. He was stripped naked yet again and forced to endure the same torture that he had already endured for 335 days prior. I would like to make a mention here. There is a moment where the producer says, if you don't want to do this, just say so. To which Nasubi responds, I'll do it. So I don't think they had ever forced him against his will to complete these challenges, but he was pretty much promised fame after doing these things. So in the pursuit of Nasubi's big dreams, he allowed himself to be tortured mercilessly for 15 months.
こんなにいっぱいということは商品総額が 47,800 円ということはゴール 46,900 円突破検証生活 in Korea.
This time around, however, Nasubi went fucking plus ultra, straight up turbo mode. He had become a master at this shit. So he was actually able to complete this challenge in just about 2 months, which made the producers very upset because he didn't suffer long enough. So they increased the challenge duration. They moved the goalpost. Instead of just getting a one-way ticket from Korea to Japan in economy class, they required him to get an additional 9,000 yen in prize winnings to upgrade that ticket to business class.
エコノミークラスという一番安い料金。こんなに頑張ったのにエコノミークラスとはあんまりだ。そこでビジネスクラスにランクアップ。点まであと 9,500 円。頑張れナスビ。
Yeah, more scummy, evil shit from the producers here. They never even told him he initially completed the goal here. They just let him keep writing postcards until he'd gather another 9,000 yen. They didn't want him to win quickly. They didn't really want him to win at all because the longer he struggles and suffers, the more money they were making. So they let him just keep going and tried to spin it as a positive thing, like, look at how hard Nasubi's working. We're not going to let him fly in economy class. So the new goal is business class because it's what Nasubi would want. Just genuinely fucked shit.
頑張ったってこんなお茶2袋お茶よ。
4,000 円ということは商品総額は 61,800 円ということ。ファーストクラスにランクアップということはゴールの金額もランクアップ。
Nasubi easily gathered the remaining 9,500 yen after winning some expensive tea leaves, so he was absolutely slapping the producers' bottoms, like he was going hog wild right now. So again, they increased the goal without ever telling him. Now, business class wasn't good enough. Now it was going to have to be a first class ticket, which was an additional 20,000 yen, I believe, which again was pretty quick for Nasubi to gather. He won a live octopus, a big picture frame, and was able to gather enough money through prizes pretty quickly to get that final rank up to first class passenger. So then he finally gets the ticket from Korea to Japan in first class, and it's over.
そしてプロデューサーに連れられたナスビ登場。もちろんアイマスクにヘッドホン。ナスビは驚くべき行動に出る。
別にまだかかる。
なんと脱ぎ始めた。
なんだ。
せーの
But the story wouldn't be complete without one more final act of cruelty towards Nasubi. They blindfold him, put noise-canceling headphones on him, disorient him, and drag him on stage into a mock room designed to look like the rooms that he'd been staying in for the last 15 months. So out of pure instinct, he gets completely nude again. It's the only life he knows, so without ever being told to take his clothes off, he does it anyway. And then the walls break away, revealing a live studio audience laughing at him and congratulating him for completing the show. Nasubi is understandably confused because for 15 months he has been psychologically and physically tortured. So he doesn't understand what's happening, he doesn't get it, and is shocked, scared, and all around bewildered. It's just one more sick fucking joke from the producers. Millions of people watching the finale, as well as thousands in person watching him, completely naked and completely having no idea what's going on or why. The life of prizes was finally complete, and the entire show, Susanoo Denpa Shonen, was cancelled pretty shortly after. It didn't have like a super long run after this, but the toll that this experience took on Nasubi's life obviously didn't stop with the finale. He reported being uncomfortable in clothes for about 6 months afterwards, and his social skills had obviously deteriorated. He said he was a lot more shy and not really able to be a comedian super well anymore because obviously he had been cut off for so long from people. He just kind of lost the ability to carry on conversations efficiently and overall just became a lot more reserved as a result of this. He did, however, sell his diary, the Nasubi Life of Prizes diary, like his journal, and that was a bestseller. That was a massive success. But he himself never achieved that level of fame that he was kind of promised with a show like this. He did have certain roles in other productions, and some of them pretty sizable roles in other productions, but never a massive success in Japan, even though this is like the most successful live stream in Japan's history. So just an overall extremely sad and cruel story. The main producer behind this show has gone on record and said he doesn't regret anything. He said his goal is to make miracles on film, and with Nasubi, he accomplished that goal. He did apologize to Nasubi, and Nasubi confirms that the producer did apologize to him, but the apology only does fuck all. Like, that doesn't make up for 15 months of lost human contact and health. Like, that's a nothing burger. But I guess at least he apologized, even though he made millions of dollars off the back of Nasubi's suffering. But anyway, I wanted to share this story because I find it to be one of the most interesting ones when it comes to like live broadcast television as well as live streaming. This is one of the first live streams, and it was fucking bizarre. Extremely fucked up story. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you to Caleb and Chelsea for compiling a bunch of clips here, so that way we could tell the story as best as possible, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. It's been a little while since we just looked at a good old-fashioned embarrassing live streamer, and boy do I have a special specimen to share with you all today. The clip I'm about to show you is brand new. It only happened like 2 days ago, but it feels vintage. It's an IRL public nuisance stream that really does feel straight out of 2018, back when that was a popular genre. It's long dead now, it's fizzled out, but back in like the 2018 era, a very popular category of streaming was IRL, and it was infested with these degenerate worms that would just create as much ruckus in public as they could, try and instigate confrontation, and just be an absolute fucking headache to everyone around them. And the bigger the blow up they could cause, the better the content. It's not popular anymore because the shtick wore off and now it's just kind of pathetic and lame. But just like this guy's hairstyle, he's stuck in the past. This is a 40-year-old man who has a hairstyle of a 14-year-old emo boy. And he is a Kick streamer, he's not a Twitch streamer, but he has risen to notoriety because he has been accused twice now of having sex live on stream at Kick with prostitutes. I haven't seen it myself, so I can't fully opine on that, but goddamn, really going hard on that IRL content.
You see that shit? It's fucking what we do.
Unironically blasting dubstep in a train right now. And then he says, he has the gall, the chutzpah, to say, "This is what we do." Brother, you are stuck 15 years in the past. Holy shit. This is like a video I would have seen on MySpace from a pathetic guy back then, let alone 2023. Jesus Christ. I still can't get over that goofy line. This is fucking what we do. What? Sit there awkwardly in silence while you blast shitty music throughout the train? Like, usually when you say something like that, like, this is what we do, it's right before you do something cool. Like, fucking base jumping, bungee jumping, going out to play in the championship basketball game, like anything besides just sitting down and blasting dubstep. This guy kind of cements my belief that sometimes people are just born to be a lifelong loser, and there's really nothing you can do to help them or change that trajectory. They are just destined to be a fucking loser. It'd actually be pretty sad if this guy wasn't such an asshole. But you can see the people around him are clearly bothered by the loud dubstep that he is blaring here in this train for no reason other than to be a douchebag. He clearly believes he is the main character here and everyone else is just props for his IRL content. Just genuine filth.
Don't touch my shit. Don't touch me. Don't touch my shit. Don't touch me. Fuck you, pussy. Fuck you, pussy.
I think it's pretty clear that he's most likely drunk here. As I understand it, he also does coke on stream occasionally, so maybe a little mix of both, some alcohol, some coke in his system, and right now they're waging war inside of his body. But yeah, anyway, Edgy Edna Mode here gets up in a hurry after someone touches his device, saying, "Don't touch my shit," and then calling him a fucking pussy as he waddles away, stumbles away. The people around him are already very tired of his presence here. Rightfully so. I imagine even when he's not streaming, he's still probably a very hard person to be around in general. Someone tried to get his attention, most likely to ask him to turn it down, but he ignored him, even though he could clearly hear him, I imagine. So, when that failed, someone else just tried to turn it off themselves.
Fuck you. These motherfuckers touching my shit. I can't get out of here. I can't get out. I just want to go out.
Who the fuck do you think you are? What?
Do you want me to turn down my volume?
Yeah.
That's
Don't
all you.
speak in the train.
That's all you have to say.
The way this goofball is behaving and the way he's speaking remind me of like an old 80s B-movie bad guy. Like really poorly acted, yet he's being real here, which is wild. Now he said if you wanted me to turn down the volume, all you had to do was ask, even though that was attempted and he just ignored him. I've seen a couple people make the argument that the guy shouldn't have reached for his phone to turn it off. He should have like tapped this guy on the shoulder first. And I guess that's fair to say. But it's not like I have any sympathy for the guy just touching the other dude's phone. He ignored the other guy. He's clearly doing this just to be a nuisance douchebag. Fucking touch his phone, turn it off. Like, fine. I'm not gonna get mad about that. And this guy doesn't have a right to get mad about it either, since this is the whole point of his content. He wanted to make a scene out of this because that's what it's all about for him. So he's getting exactly what he wanted. He doesn't really have a leg to stand on here with getting mad and aggressive. It's exactly what he was looking for.
Instead of being wait. I want to take English to you because you understand English, right? Nah. You know? Chotomate, ne. Speak English to me. Don't
fucking Japanese to us, man.
Uh-oh, big guy's going insano style now. He's whipping out the Speak English card while he's in Japan. So he's now saying that they need to speak English to him, despite him being there in Japan.
Okay, bro. Daijoubu. You see that? You see what happened right here? Fucking motherfuckers. Chill. In English we say chill.
No, in Japanese we say disappear.
Excellent de-escalation tactics here from this guy, truly a master of his craft. A real silver-tongued devil, I'll tell you what. So, a whole conflict that this guy started for the sake of his shitty stream has escalated to a point that now makes him uncomfortable. He seems very scared now that he's about to enter into a physical confrontation. So now he's just saying chill as he's retreating off the train instantly. Like, immediately, ASAP, getting the fuck out of there.
Why are you racist? You're racist.
I am
not racist. You are racist, right?
I am.
You're racist.
No.
You're racist, right? He said he was racist. He said it. You see, he said he was racist.
That is no racist.
Oh shit, stand back. This guy's using his alt. He's alting. He brought out the racist card somehow in this situation on the other guy, hitting him with that fucking crazy reverse. Good lord, out of nowhere from the top turnbuckle, he tries to cry racism. Fucking wild maneuver here. Interesting tactics. I don't even know really where to begin on breaking that one down. I don't even think it's necessary. I think that one speaks for itself, honestly. Let the chess speak for itself in this case here, because goddamn, what an embarrassing sign-off to this whole situation. It goes on a little bit further where he, like, shakes this guy's hand, who's being, like, a little less aggressive than the other guy. He's like, oh, thanks for being nice, that guy's not nice. Even though he had every right to not be nice to this guy. Like, I think that's a totally reasonable response to a vermin like this who's just blasting music and refusing to turn it down when someone's trying to get their attention, and then has this huge blow up when you just take matters into your own hands and, like, turn it down for him. Like, I mean, fuck you. The whole point was the confrontation, right? So why are you gonna act all offended and upset all because a guy actually, you know, played along with what you've started? Anyway, that's really the whole situation. This is just one of those classic embarrassing IRL streamer moments that I thought was worth joking around about and at least, you know, talking about a little bit. It really does feel straight out of 2018, but believe it or not, this is a brand new clip from this week. So, that's interesting. That's really about it. So yeah.
You've been raped. No. You should be.
This guy who looks like the result of a botched fusion dance performed by a colonostomy bag and a sloth is Only Use Me Blade. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking Brian was just telling a really shitty, edgy joke, but it's not. Brian, Only Use Me Blade, has a history of sexually harassing women during streams, and earlier this week found himself under more controversy during an RV stream where it appears he gets into a bed with a passed out drunk woman and thrusts. This is all allegedly, nothing is 100% proven, so keep that in mind. All of that in that department is alleged. He is a downright deplorable, revolting, adipose astronaut, a downright shit stain on the internet. He is easily the world's worst streamer. He is a raging alcoholic, serial groper, just groping complete strangers, and just, he's an animal abuser as well. All of these, all documented. I'll show you what I can. Let me give you a brief history of Only Use Me Blade. Only Use Me Blade rose to popularity during the early days of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. His shtick was he was only using a knife to get his kills, and he did well in the game, but his popularity faded as the game's popularity faded, and he didn't adapt very well. He got big into alcohol and then started streaming. The only reason he maintained even a very small audience is because people were laughing at him. They liked to see him get drunk and fall asleep, well, pass out, hurt himself, stumble around. That was the only thing that people tuned in to see. He's a degenerate loser. In fact, he was banned on Twitch because he got so drunk he started fingering his asshole for a $20 donation. The only reason people have ever tuned into Brian's stream is to watch him pass out and compete with each other to see who can wake him up with the loudest noise through the computer. That is Brian's whole identity, his legacy, and I'd feel bad for him, but it's hard to feel bad for a skid mark like this guy. Now let me show you his follow-up to when he recently groped a woman on stream and she called him out for it. This is his perspective on it.
I just have a lot of love to give. So if some random fucking ugly whore bitch gets groped, she gets groped. Accept it. You should be fucking welcome, whore. You should be fucking welcome, whore. Seriously, you should be fucking honored that I would ever grope you, you stupid bitch.
What a class act. This guy is the exact person your parents tell you never to end up like. You can genuinely smell him through the computer. Brian struggles with alcoholism, obviously, and it's so bad. He's 36 years old and looks like a fucking walking corpse already, but it's so bad that he has to wear diapers because he frequently shits and pisses himself, and he's been shown on stream putting on his adult diapers, and they're fucking massive diapers. It looks like something that you could put a whole goddamn Ford F-150 into, because this is a big boy taking big shits and big peepees when he's blackout drunk. Now, let me get to the animal abuse.
Alright, let's go. I didn't like it.
Animal abuse is all the rage from internet creators these days, and Only Use Me Blade hopped on that bandwagon early. You got Brooke, the girl that put her dog into the dryer. You've got all of these titans in animal abuse on the internet, and Only Use Me Blade was kind of the pioneer who really kicked it off. He's done more than just that, but that was the first clip that I could find, and I didn't really want to go through his entire catalog of absolutely deplorable, disgusting shit. So I think you can pretty well understand how he feels about animals and how he treats them when he's around them, even though he himself is the most vile animal on the internet. Now let's get to the most recent thing where this grotesque dump truck appears to have non-consensual sex with a passed out drunk woman. Now keep in mind, nothing has been 100% proven, so this is all alleged. The incident occurred on an RV trip. It's a stream that they're doing with a bunch of different people. She was on the trip with them. There's multiple different camera angles, and one of the camera angles shows Blade going into the back room where the girl was passed out drunk, and he is stripped down to his boxers and appears to be thrusting on top of the woman. Now, before this alleged incident even occurs, there's a clip right before anything happens where Brian is asking one of the other men that you see in frame here if he should go have sex with the passed out girl in the back. He mentions her by her stream name, and I don't think she wants her name associated with any of this, so I'm not going to show you the clip. But to the guy's response when Brian says this is he just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Every man on this fucking RV that you see here is such a piece of shit. It's unbelievable. It's like this RV is a giant pile of dog shit, and these are just subhuman flies feasting upon it, festering in this cesspool. It's fucking gross. This is the clip where the alleged incident actually is occurring on camera. I've cropped it out so you can't see it, but just out of frame, it seems as though Brian is making a thrusting motion on the bed. He's a massive man, so you can see the covers moving back and forth, and his legs are moving quite a bit as well, trembling under the body weight that they have to support. But this alleged incident is occurring at this time in the clip. Another extremely sad thing about this whole situation is the Reddit community that's trying to defend it. It's like a propaganda machine. They released like an Illuminati video trying to debunk it scientifically, but it's really poorly made, and you can clearly tell it's made by a 15-year-old. And as you can read, their excuse is basically the RV was bouncing, which explains why the covers were moving the way they were, but it doesn't explain why they were moving at the same speed and the same interval during this alleged incident that occurs, and his legs were shaking due to alcohol shakes. And then throws in like this conspiracy bullet point list on why people would be making it up, and it's obviously never even occurred to this psychopath middle school lunch table loner social outcast 15-year-old that the reason people are upset is because they feel as though they may have just witnessed a crime and a really horrible thing, because in this alleged incident the footage looks very bad and disturbing. And for some reason, has these fucking paranoid gang-stalking conspiracy points like, oh, they're coming after our entertainment, the normies are flooding in, white knights. It's unbelievable, and it's just fucking pathetic.
It's not rape if they don't have an orgasm. Fuck it.
And okay, I don't think if this shit is like, I don't think I should just be on stream doing this shit.
That was a clip of the girl reacting to a video that detailed the entire situation, and then she goes offline. I'm gonna give you a quick little montage of Brian groping women on stream. If you just search Only Use Me Blade, the first 20 or so results are just clips of him groping women that aren't interested in him. His name, Only Use Me Blade, is basically just synonymous with vomit and grope.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck? You can't broke it! You broke me on my head. I don't know where I'm at.
You have some big ass titties, baby. No, bring them on back. Bring them on back.
Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning, all of this is after he's purged YouTube of the clips of him groping and sexually harassing and assaulting women. Yeah, he also abuses copyright takedown shit. He is the max level of pathetic loser on this fucking planet. It's unbelievable. So, Blade, you're probably watching, if you can even keep your eyes open for this long without puking on yourself and falling over. You're a fucking menace. You fucking suck. You're a horrible person. I don't know who's watching you. Well, that's a lie. I do know who's watching you. It's the people just there to make fun of you in the stream chats, because that's kind of all you're there for, just like a punching bag for those people to make fun of you. I don't know if you're proud of that or not, but you do get donations for it that are insulting you to your face, so I guess that's cool for you too, I guess. But anyway, ordinarily I'd feel bad for someone like Brian, because he does struggle with a genuine condition, alcoholism. But he uses it like a superpower to be the worst possible person on the planet and make money off. Easily the worst streamer out there. That's it. So yeah. Everyone knows that public nuisance streamers that go around harassing strangers, causing a commotion, and just making everyone's lives around them more miserable suck. Like, that's not a hot take. Everyone knows that. They're just this miasma of cringe that cause everyone a massive headache. But as I and many others have pointed out for years now, they do inspire an entire generation of young viewers to be losers like them, because they do find an audience, they do find success, they make money from it, so it becomes a career path and something that young kids want to do to try and emulate that behavior and be like them. It's fucking tragic, and now we're starting to see the results of all of this.
What the fuck? Put your hand in my food again, and I'm throwing all of your phones.
Hey, you're not touching our phone.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that.
This young whippersnapper can't be older than 11 years old, and he's already becoming a scourge. He's trying to do what all of the other public nuisance streamers do by just being a societal hemorrhoid. He still has his baby teeth. He hasn't even gotten his adult teeth yet, and he's already doing this shit. He just graduated from suckling milk out of his mother's bosom, and now he's trying to suckle milk out of Jack Doherty's titties here. He's just trying to get that clout through being a piece of shit. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Charles, are you really going to be insulting an 11-year-old here? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. This needs to be squashed. You gotta put the kibosh on this immediately to learn that this is not acceptable at all. So absolutely, I will be insulting this kid and the entire goof troop that travels with him for these streams. Now, he has thankfully been banned for this, which is one of the very few times I've ever seen Kick ban someone. I imagine it's not a permaban, but it 100% should be. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it is. Yeah, though, this shit absolutely super sucks. So I'm doing a public service here by insulting them. Hopefully it discourages more people like this, and hopefully this kid grows and learns that it's awful. It's not even good content. People are watching you because you are a clown, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for you to get your ass beat. That is your entire audience. You are a fucking spittoon that they are spitting in. Why would you want that to be your whole brand? His whole stream is basically either arguing or fighting people, and this is him just taking food from a stranger's table. That lady then goes up to confront him, and I'll show you that clip in a moment, but in the same stream, he also gets in an actual fist fight with some other kids. His whole stream is just creating problems and instigating, hoping that someone will fight back, and he just yells and screams about it, or in this case, throws some wet noodle punches at them. So him and his goof troop fight this other group, and they know that they're not going to get their ass beat because they're too young. So the group that's taking these punches doesn't actually fire back. They push him away at one point, but they don't actually swing on him because they know they would be the ones that get in trouble because this is a toddler. So they're using their age as a shield because they know there's going to be no real repercussions.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that to people. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Stop filming me. You're a nobody. It's a live stream. You can't stop it. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Give me the phone. Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone, I'm gonna actually do something. Are you gonna beat me up? Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. I will. How old are you? 5?
Kid's making threats to this woman, then he also has his friend, like, behind her just in case. It seems like he was contemplating sucker punching her. Like, that's what it seemed like the synapses in his brain were about to fire and tell him to do there. This is his whole stream with him and his friends just wandering around, making problems with complete strangers for no reason. And I'm also using the term friends very loosey-goosey here because I have a hunch that they're not actually his friends. They probably can't stand to be around this annoying shit stain. They're just here because he has some viewers and they're trying to elevate themselves. That's typically how these stories go. I think it's also worth mentioning that he has clearly been heavily inspired by Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty is another public nuisance streamer who does this exact same style of content where he just travels around, makes problems, causes a ruckus, and he has a bodyguard with him so that when anyone tries to confront Jack, the bodyguard steps in and either attacks that person or scares them away and sizes them up, gets them out of there to protect Jack Doherty from the consequences of his actions while Jack peeks around the bodyguard still lobbing insults at him like a real tough guy. Also, Jack Doherty is probably about the same size as this 11-year-old. So, the reason I say that he's clearly inspired by him is because this kid also travels around with a bodyguard. That's who that dweeb with the TikTok broccoli hair was that's positioned behind the woman here. That's supposed to be this kid's muscle. Or backup, perhaps. Maybe sidekick. I believe it's supposed to be his bodyguard, though, like Jack Doherty has. But the clear difference between Jack Doherty's bodyguard and this kid's is Jack's is a full-grown adult man who is like a professional bodyguard. This kid's is another child who's still afraid of the dentist and probably still wearing Pampers and the head of the anime club. But he is still trying very hard to be like Jack Doherty. And the question needs to be asked, where are their parents? Where in the fucking world are these kids' parental figures?
Do you? Alright, hold up. Do you? Don't do that again. Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I couldn't imagine anything more painful as a parent than seeing your son like this, or any of the kids in this group here. It'd be less shameful if they were just addicted to heroin. Now, I know a lot of people default to blaming the parents here because that's a really easy thing to point the finger at, especially with so many parents just sitting their kids in front of an iPad and letting them doom scroll the internet and letting the internet raise their kids. But in a case like this, I don't necessarily know if that's 100% how this happened. I think even if you're someone who's very active in their kids' lives, they can just stumble across something like a kick streamer like Jack Doherty and see him flexing his wealth and be, blown away by that, getting stars in their eyes and be like, I want to be like that. And no matter what the parent does, they can't really snap them out of it. That's just something the kid's going to have to learn through failure and learning that they're going to end up alone and a loser by trying to be like Jack Doherty. But I think there is a clear problem here that the parents aren't here. Like, they're just letting their 11-year-olds wander around IRL streaming. Under no circumstances should a child of this age be fucking IRL streaming on Kick. Kick is a platform that actually has child predators on it. There was a whole expose video about a big streamer who was legitimately a fucking predator. And their kids are now streaming IRL on that platform right now. And even on any platform, I don't think any kids should be doing any kind of streams like this. So I really am curious why the parents aren't more present in their life to allow them to stream for hours like this. That's just downright irresponsible, 100%. But I don't necessarily blame them for the kid trying to be a Jack Doherty clone, a bootleg Jack Doherty. That's something that even if the parents were monitoring their internet usage, he may have just stumbled across through TikTok or Twitter or something and then just got hooked on it. And that's a hard thing to stop as a parent. I do understand that part, but they definitely need to know that this is not acceptable behavior or normal behavior for kids to be doing. Fucking streaming, being an asshole. Come on. The parents definitely got to step up here and do something, I would say. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see a kid start to do streams like this. I really do think that streamers like Jack Doherty, who I keep name dropping, but it's just so clear his influence on this kid's life, really do create further degenerates. They just continue this cycle of degeneracy by making more people like this. And it sucks. That shit is terrible. So hopefully I'm wrong and we won't see more cases like this. But man, it's still awful. Even with just one case, that one kid was inspired enough to start trying to do the same thing. It's sad to see. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. Boy, oh boy, do I have some good news for you today. It's time for a little holly jolly celebration because Santa Claus came early with the gifts. This loser has finally been arrested. Now, I'm sure none of you recognize this guy. This is probably not a face any of you have seen unless you're a woman in New York, and in that case, this is probably a face that you swiped left on Tinder for. But this is the face of the man known as Squeezebinz, the infamous street racer who's blown up on Instagram and YouTube over the last few months. This isn't like a really stunning revelation, he just looks like a normal asshole. It's not like some kind of big twist like it's Bruce Wayne behind the Batman mask or anything. But I actually recently talked about Squeeze because he went on Neon's stream and did his street racing stunt maneuvers and ended up getting in a hit and run live on Kick. So of course I was making fun of him and tossing tomatoes, shouting boo. I think it is so incredibly lame to do the kind of shit that Squeezebinz was, where he'd just go out on public roads and put everyone's lives in danger around him, just driving fast and recklessly for his content. And this is a criminal who is addicted to attention, which has to be the worst combination for a human being ever. If you are a criminal, the last thing that you would want is a lot of eyes on you. But this guy, Jiminy Christmas, he was absorbing it like a sponge in a sink. This guy was more addicted to attention than a heroin addict is to the needle. This guy couldn't get enough of it, so he took every opportunity imaginable to promote himself. So this was always inevitable. He was either going to get arrested or get himself or someone else killed. Luckily, he was arrested before the second thing happened. Now, before really diving into the weeds of the arrest here and everything around it, I want to show you a little bit more of the lore to Squeeze, so you can get a big taste of the cringe that is Squeezebinz.
You mix danger, but there's also other people at risk when you do that. Innocent civilians. So what do you think about the element of danger for that?
I've been doing this since real shit since I was 9. I used to take my dad's car out and I used to just bug out. I've been doing this for so long now that I feel like I did some professional.
This guy must have found a moron potion at some point in his life and he has not been able to break the curse. The effects still linger. He did an interview with Tommy G, a very popular video, over 8 million views here, where he's revealing some pretty sensitive information really, all while acknowledging that he's one of the most wanted people in the area by the authorities. How stupid can you be? He's going on a press tour here to promote himself while actively engaging in illegal activity and putting himself in as many places as possible, giving authorities all the evidence they could ever require. He also has the gall to call himself a professional. He is a talented driver, no doubt, but the only thing he's a professional at is not dying. That's it. He's going out there and gambling with everyone's lives and his own, and nothing beyond that. He's not a professional at anything, he's just currently surviving. Is all.
That's how I drive. There's been incidents where I've gone out with people and they try keeping up with me and they've crashed.
How fast do you go?
I mean, there's been a video on live where I've gone one-handed 210 miles an hour.
Filming with one hand, driving with the other, 210 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane. Did that scare you?
Not really, just to build up a tolerance of just speed.
Do you feel like the police watch your Instagram?
100%, they do.
Let's pop in the...
100% they do, which is why I'm doing all of these interviews to help them in their pursuit. It reminds me of this classic story where the police put out a post on Facebook asking for information about a woman who was an accessory to a murder, and the woman they were looking for actually commented on the post asking about the reward money that was being offered, and so they were able to find her because of that. Squeeze and that lady are two sides of the same coin, just pure degenerate dummy. Anyway though, he's finally been arrested after an incident that happened back in April where Squeeze allegedly made an illegal turn and proceeded to elude the police at high speeds. Then officers found videos of him committing various traffic violations throughout the tri-state area. Apparently the NYPD did a little fusion dance and a fist bump with another department, and they worked together and found Squeeze because he was wanted on other charges including burglary, theft, conspiracy, and more. I was reading a couple of other reports where he allegedly punched a 20-year-old man in a deli. So I'm not exactly sure what all went down there, but ultimately it ended with him getting arrested and the NYPD commissioner taking a victory lap here and dunking on him on Twitter by saying Squeezebinz is in custody thanks to New York's finest. And then he posted a picture of his Instagram with the word apprehended slapped across it there. as if it's some kind of like busted thing in Grand Theft Auto. So Antonio going from squeeze bins to squeeze mins here, being shoulder to shoulder squeezed into a cell with other dudes, hopefully. But there's no telling if he's actually going to face real prison time. It seems he's been released because after all of this, he did make an Instagram post about how he can't go live on there. So then he made a Twitch account, which I can't find. I do see a Squeeze Bins account there, but there's nothing on it, and I think that's just an impersonator trying to capitalize off of this. His original Instagram account appears to be banned, and the only one I can find is another one that appears to be an impersonator, but maybe it really is him. I have no fucking clue. I also can't help but giggle that he decided to make a Twitch account instead of a Kick account. Like, not even this blatant criminal who has already broadcast crimes on Kick wants to make an account over there and stream on purpose. He still decided to go to Twitch first and foremost. That's kind of crazy to me because Kick is the home of broadcasting illegal activity. They don't do shit about it there. They give you like a subtle thumbs up because it's driving more traffic to their site. That should be home turf for Antonio here. Squeeze Bins would be hoisted on their shoulders like a golden goose. And yet he still said, ew, I'll just go to Twitch instead. That boggles my mind a little bit. I did laugh when I read that he made a Twitch account. I wish they'd make an example out of him here. He's not like the only one doing this kind of content, the lone alpha wolf or anything here. This is a pretty popular niche of content online where people just put on a helmet or wear some kind of mask and then just commit crimes. And like, taunt authorities driving around recklessly, endangering a bunch of innocent people's lives on the road for content and views on Instagram and YouTube and shit. He is far from the only one doing this. So I think if they would actually give a fuck here and pursue real serious charges and actual repercussions for his actions, it could help to dissuade others from pursuing this. At least I would hope. I would really like them to not play softball here and actually do something about this. He has been caught. Hand in the cookie jar here. He has all of this evidence that he himself has compiled about his crimes and how he's not remorseful and will always continue to do it, most likely. Why the fuck would you just give him a slap on the wrist? It's also more than the dangerous driving. He apparently beats people in delis, at least according to some of the reports here. Like, this is not someone that they should just be playing like patty cake with here and saying, hey, don't do it again. All right, now get out of here. Come on, scram. Like, this is something that they should be taking far, far more seriously. I really hope that his release is a temporary thing as they build up a meteor case against him, so that way he'll actually get thrown in the slammer. There's just no excuse for it at all. Just going onto public roads and compromising everyone's safety for your content, I just think it truly super sucks. And I think the fans of this kind of content are extraordinarily annoying. So there are still like Squeeze Bins enthusiasts that are losing sleep over this, thinking that he's done nothing wrong. Nobody got hurt, even though in his interview with Tommy G, he says that people have tried to emulate him and they have crashed. So people have literally gotten hurt. He also did get involved in a hit and run on stream, but whatever, I suppose. Just go ahead and ignore reality here and continue to live in fucking delusional Narnia land. But, you know, hey, they're Squeeze Bins guys. Of course they wear diapers and eat glue. Is what it is, I guess, but I'm just super happy that he's finally been arrested, and I can only hope that they do throw the book at him. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. It's only been a few weeks since we talked about that horrible hemorrhoid on Twitch that abused his son because he lost a Madden game. That story has a happy ending. Luckily, George R.R. Martin finished this tale. He got kicked out of the house by his wife and hasn't really said or done anything since. I guess he just faded into the football shadow realm. But then, yesterday, some other streamer saw this guy and must have said, I want to be like him, but worse. So we have an even worse father that came out of nowhere, a new anime villain here, and this pathetic urinal cake just exists to get pissed on. He fucking sucks at the games he plays, and he has some of the worst anger I've seen on Twitch. I went through a couple of his old shit, and it's nothing but him raging half the fucking streams. But last night, there was an eruption from this volcano of pathetic worthlessness. He storms out of his chair going off-screen, yelling and screaming at a child, saying that he's gonna break their neck, saying, I hate you. And the child is crying and screaming, and he goes on Twitter to say it wasn't directed at his daughter. it was directed at his dog. He was threatening to break his dog's neck, which makes everything okay. I'm going to show the clip now. It's very disturbing, just a heads up, and then we'll go over him trying to justify his absolutely disgusting behavior.
What the fuck, man? Oh my god, dude, I fucking pre-fired him! Dude. Okay!
Did you get head jaws by him too?
God, man. This fucking shit, dude. Change. Oh my god, stop fucking shitting in it! Stop shitting! I don't care, Riley. Shush. Dude! Stop fucking shitting yourself, dude. How hard is that? Christ, man. God damn, you stupid motherfucker. God, I fucking hate you, dude. Get the fuck out of my room, bro. Go! Get out! Go! The fuck out of my room, dude! Get out! I'm gonna break your fucking neck, dude. Get the fuck out!
He's yelling at a child, but he himself is the biggest child in that house, just having a full-on, whiny, pissed-pants baby meltdown.
Oh no! Okay, dude. Oh.
All because he just fucking sucks ass at his video game. And of course you could see some gamer tears crashing upon his Dorito-dusted desk as he gets up and then just starts to be abusive towards everyone around him. Now it's important to note that this clip is actually cut. It's not one continuous clip, but it's in two big sections. The first section where he goes, starts yelling and a child is crying as he says to stop shitting yourself, and then it's cut again when he gets up and he says to get the fuck out, I hate you, I'll break your neck. So there is two clips here. And in the first one, I think it's very clear that this is directed at his daughter. And he is a father, he has a daughter, this is his Twitter bio, aspiring gamer, single father of a beautiful 3-year-old, business owner. Look, I'm no fortune teller, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think this clip right here just single-handedly killed your business. I don't know what the business was, probably something fucking terrible though, like he probably sells gaming diapers because he's always shitting himself out of anger in his video games, so probably thinks there's a market for it, not realizing that he's just one of the only ones that gets that fucking mad at games. Now this asshole took a much different approach to the last abusive father on Twitch. That guy just left without saying anything, didn't bother to defend himself. This guy's doing everything he can to justify what happened here. So going on Twitter, we'll go over some of them. He says, anyone who believes that edited ass clip is severely misinformed. While I don't dismiss that I got overly upset, I was definitely 100% talking about my dog. The guy that I banned from my stream edited it to not seem so, but that's what it was. This guy even fucking writes like a child, and there's a lot of problems with this statement here. One, this guy gets about 2 viewers a stream, and I don't think he banned one of those 2 people, and I'm pretty sure both of those people are just him watching his own stream on different devices. The only reason this clip even surfaced is because the guy that killed him is a streamer, and his name is Frizzable, so he checked in on this guy's stream to see how he reacted to the kill, and he got blasted with this disgusting dose of garbage. That's the only reason this clip surfaced. It's not like there was some angry viewer that was just so upset that he got banned from his favorite streamer, Kill MF Cam. That was his favorite place to hang out. That's where the cool kids went to drink brewskis and watch some child abuse on stream, and when he got banned, he just couldn't take it. So he made a video to slander the poor guy. And then another problem with this statement is edited ass clip. There's only one edit. It's a continuous shot all the way up till when the child is crying, and then it cuts again to when he gets out of his chair to yell one more time saying, I hate you and I'll break your neck. It's not like a clip that's edited a lot. There's not a lot of editing going on there. They didn't have to try very hard to make you look like an abusive asshole, because that's clearly what you seem to be. Now in the second clip, it could be directed at someone that's not his daughter, since his daughter is no longer screaming and crying out of fear. So that's possible that it's directed at his dog, but does that make it any better, you cum dumpster scumbag? I don't think so. Animal abuse is still a horrible thing, also still a crime. The first clip though, I think it's pretty undeniable that that was directed at your daughter. You wouldn't talk to a dog that way, and your daughter is extremely fucking scared, crying. So I don't know how you could possibly make the argument that the first part of this clip is not directed at your daughter. Because even if it wasn't, it clearly seems like she feels that it is. He continues, "You really said I threatened to break my dog's neck, not my 3-year-old son, and admitted to hitting your dog because you got angry, and think that sounds any better at all." And this dumb, stupid piece of shit says, "Yes it is, I am allowed to whoop my dog's ass." First of all, you fucking troglodyte, you used the wrong allowed. I've never even seen this mistake before. The word you were looking for is allowed, A-L-L-O-W-E-D, not allowed, A-L-O-U-D. That means you're speaking aloud. You fucking dumb idiot. Like, holy shit, you are so stupid. I didn't even know anyone could make this kind of mistake. But also, no, you're not allowed to whoop your dog's ass. That's called animal abuse, and you should not be allowed near any animals ever in the future. And your daughter shouldn't be in that household where you're beating dogs in the first place. He continues, whoop my dog's ass for being bad, dude. She's a pit, LMFAO. I whooped her butt twice and made her leave my bedroom, LMFAO. While it wasn't okay to sound so mad, it really wasn't what this guy edited it to be. This guy sucks. This guy fucking sucks. Every single statement he makes himself look worse and worse and worse. This guy is an insufferable asshole who apparently beats his dog in front of his daughter. So this is not acceptable. Even if in some far-off fantasy world at no point in that clip was any of that directed at his daughter, he openly admits to beating his dog, and you can hear his daughter crying about it. His most recent tweet to really cement his place as a good guy, a victim of slander, is this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and say one more time. To all that are concerned, I'm sorry I reacted the way I did. I did overreact, but my overreaction was in no way directed at my kid. That video is edited slander of me yelling at my dog. Though that doesn't excuse my anger, please realize. I mean, so this guy truly was the victim of just some horrible slander campaign. A smear campaign against the good guy, Killa MF Cam. Man, it's so upsetting to see just a normal, good, red-blooded American, hard-working man trying to beat his dog on stream and then getting slandered for it. Like, come on now. I feel so bad for the guy. Unbelievable that this good man would be the victim of such a horrendous, heinous slander video. Ugh, despicable. So yeah, this guy sucks. Luckily he was banned, so that's good to see. But he's still trying his best to make himself not look like an absolute piece of shit on Twitter, and continues to dig himself further into a hole by making it seem like in his delusioned mind that he believes it's okay to beat animals if they are misbehaving, or just beat them if you're mad at a game. And of course in the clip you can hear his daughter crying about it, so she doesn't like it. So I would argue that you're traumatizing your daughter and teaching her that it's okay to beat things when you're upset. So regardless of how you're going to try and spin this story, and you're not doing a good job of it anyway because you're admitting to a crime anyway, which is beating your dog, that's called animal abuse, that is still a crime. No matter what he's tried, he has made himself look like probably one of the worst streamers I've seen on Twitch. This guy is fucking horrible, and I just wanted to talk about it because this whole thing made me extremely mad. That's about it. So yeah. I'll be honest, I don't usually cover topics like what I'm about to touch on today because it's extremely serious. Usually the stuff I cover is things to point and laugh at, throw tomatoes at, say boo, stinky, yucky, boo. Not this. This is horrifying. It's a story I haven't seen a ton of people mention, and I myself didn't know about it until a few nights ago where just some random chatter during stream mentioned it. And I looked it up, and the information was only a few minutes old. Like, I don't even know how that guy had access to it so quickly, unless he's like one of the chief investigators on the case that just typed it in the chat. But when I looked it up there wasn't a ton of specifics mentioned about the case. But I followed it over the last few days as more and more information has come to the public eye. It is truly evil. And to my knowledge, this is the first case where a live stream was used as an alibi in a murder case or anything of that magnitude. There of course has been cases like with Facebook live streams and even YouTube a couple times where horrible atrocities were committed live, but I think this is the only time that someone has tried to use a live stream to prove their innocence and act as a smokescreen to cover up their crimes. Now, the person I'm about to talk about hasn't been found guilty yet, but they have been charged with murder with overwhelming evidence. Extremely compelling and strong evidence. On December 18th in Ireland, a woman named Natalie McNally was stabbed to death in her own home. She was 15 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. And the person accused of the murder is a man named Stephen McCullough. He is a YouTuber as well as streamer. He mainly focused on toy reviews as far as I can tell, specifically seeming to be a big Doctor Who toy reviewer. So what happened is, on the night of Natalie McNally's murder, Stephen McCullough went live on his channel. And this live stream is still up right now. It's a 6-hour live stream. And this was crucial evidence to prove his innocence on this evening. Because how could McCullough have possibly killed someone when there's proof of him streaming from his home at the same time that the murder had taken place? So they eventually, after bringing him in initially on suspicion of being involved in this case, let him go, because this live stream did serve as a pretty good alibi for him. Plus, this wasn't just streamed to 0 viewers, there were real sentient human beings with a pulse there to watch this stream, so should any of this information ever come to light, there would be a lot of witnesses saying, no, I was watching him stream, he was 100% at home. So that was his whole plan. And while this worked for a brief period of time getting him out of suspicion, it was an ephemeral victory because after the investigators combed through about 4,000 hours worth of CCTV footage, they kind of pinned his whole location. They got his whole itinerary here. They were able to track him around and follow him around like it was a fucking Sims character. So not only did they see him through the CCTV evidence, but they also had the account of the taxi driver. They even took notice of things like a yellow glove underneath a black glove while giving change to a bus driver. And with all of this, they had a really strong case against him being the murderer. But they still had that live stream to explain. Because again, there is a live stream that did span the entire course where all of this took place. So how the fuck does this happen? You know, is he David Copperfield? Like, what, 2 places at once? Is this some kind of prestige situation where he had like a twin or a clone of himself? The actual answer is it's far simpler than you would possibly ever think. The live stream was fake. Yes, the stream went live on his channel during this whole period of time, but it wasn't actually a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video that Stephen McCullough had recorded days prior in order to look like a live stream, to mimic a live stream, so that way it could be used as an alibi for him. And when you watch the live stream, which again is still up on his channel, there are so many alarming red flag moments throughout it, even from the get-go. So he mentions at the very beginning of this live stream that he's not going to be able to read chat for a variety of technical reasons. One of them being it would crash his computer, it'd freeze the computer, it'd ruin the whole stream because of all of these deep tech problems that he couldn't solve. Everything's gone cattywampus, so he won't be able to read your chat. More like, Doctor, who's talking? Because I can't see you, I'm not reading chat. He just keeps reiterating over and over and over again that there's going to be no chat interaction. Because obviously, since this is a pre-recorded thing, there is no chat for him to read or interact with.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up.
And he just kept like explaining why he can't read chat, and then he started talking about like, well, I guess I could read it on my phone, but you know, I get addicted to TikTok when I'm on my phone, and that's a mess, so I've put my phone in timeout in another room, so I won't be reading chats there either, and that'd probably ruin my internet too anyway, so no chat tonight. You guys can talk amongst yourself. I don't even like live streamers who read chat, so no chat for me tonight. There's plenty of streamers who don't interact with chat, but to go this long and this in-depth on things that make absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever to explain why you're not going to be reading chat or reacting to donations is definitely a little odd. And there's plenty of other really alarming moments about this stream, especially looking back on it in hindsight. He keeps reiterating that he's live, you know, this is live, and he's staying inside all night. He talks about like drinking and driving, and he'd never drink and drive, which is why he's staying inside, drinking on stream live for his viewers to enjoy. He's playing GTA Vice City throughout the stream, and he's making comments about like how the police force is no longer like equipped to handle cases, and there's a rise in crime. It's in the real world he's talking about. It's all very fucking alarming stuff, but by far the scariest thing he says has to be this.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-notly. Abso-fucking-nately.
Completely out of nowhere, unprompted, he mentions someone named Natalie in a pretty menacing way. And once again, there's plenty of other things he says in here that are very scary, but I think this one is by far the worst moment. This has been 100% confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt to be a fake live stream. When authorities seized some possessions, they found the actual video itself and concluded that it was filmed on December 13th or 14th. And also, McCullough himself has confirmed that the live stream was not actually live, it was pre-recorded, but insists that he was actually just drinking by himself alone that night. He completely denies the murder and insists that someone else may have been dropped off in a taxi near his home. This is referring to the CCTV evidence that they've gathered, pinpointing all of his locations throughout the evening. There's also other awful shit here as well. McCullough stayed pretty close to Natalie McNally's parents, and in one case even left his phone over at their house in order to like bug them and secretly spy on them to record their conversations to see if he was a suspect. So McCullough went to the McNally house, left his phone on record, and left, but returned 40 minutes later claiming to have forgotten it, and police were saying that this was an attempt to listen into their conversations to see if they suspected him of anything in this. I can't envision a world where Stephen McCullough is not the person who committed this crime. There is just an overwhelming amount of evidence against him. And he still doesn't have a real explanation for what the possible motive to faking the live stream would even be. Nothing that makes sense, at least. And then randomly dropping Natalie's name during it. I just cannot imagine that this man is innocent, but he hasn't been found fully guilty of being the murderer yet. But yeah, overall, a horrifying situation. I'm wishing the absolute best for the McNally family, and I'm hoping justice is served here. That's about it. See ya. Last night I got sent a clip that made me extremely angry. It's a clip of a streamer playing Madden 21 with his child on his lap, and then he did poorly in the game, like he missed a first down catch or something, and he just went full fucking primal caveman and smashed his controller on the desk, which made his kid start crying and made him even angrier. So then he throws his kid on the chair and then yells at the kid because he's doing shitty in the game. Right away, him playing Madden 21 tells me he already makes bad decisions, but to broadcast your child abuse on Twitch is a really fucking wild one to do. I'll play the clip for you now, but I just want to give a fair warning. I think it's pretty hard to watch, so just keep that in mind, but I think it's important to see how big of a piece of shit this guy is.
God damn it! Fucking $300 fucking controller! Yo, can I fucking press pause? Just sit right here. Stop. I gotta go, yo. I'm about to fucking lose it, yo. Shut the fuck up!
No, your computer isn't lagging, nor is the video itself. This pathetic worm just streams using a dial-up connection that he's probably stealing, so the frame rate's dog shit, and he has a $300 controller apparently, but a 30-cent internet connection and webcam. The webcam looks like you're trying to watch censored hentai. It's so fucking pixelated. But hey, that's just his style, baby. Child abuse in 360p. Really sad shit all around. Like I said, I think it's pretty hard to watch. Now, he didn't like throw the child, like he didn't go in there and like slam dunk the kid into the chair or anything, or spike it like a football in Madden. But to aggressively throw the child down and then scream in his face is nothing shy of horrible parenting and genuine child abuse, I think. I think most people would agree with that, except for a couple of really battle-hardened Twitter users with their furry porn avatars and anime profile pics saying that it's not child abuse and they went through similar things and loved their parents and it made them stronger, and that you're just a bunch of pussies these days if you can't take your parents yelling at you in your face because they got very sad and salty at a fucking sports video game. I think it's definitely child abuse. 100% in my opinion. Like, I think there's really no argument there. I feel extremely sorry for the child. The father is a worthless hemorrhoid going into this full fucking meltdown mode and tantrum over just doing poorly in a sports video game is just the highest level of pitiful I could imagine. I don't remember exactly what his wording was, but in his little Twitch slogan, the little sentence or paragraph under the stream to let you know about the streamer, he said something like, "Being a loving father and supreme turbo gaming ultimate gamer warrior is my mission in life." I'd definitely say that is a complete mission failure. I don't know what it is about sports games. There must be some kind of curse on the genre. It just brings out the demon in people. It's fucking pathetic shit, though. The good news is he's been banned from Twitch, and he's, like, deleted all his social media and shit. I don't know if this is true, but apparently his wife actually kicked him out because of this, so that's good that she's taking action to protect the child from him. Because if he's gonna melt down like this over something as trivial as a Madden game against the fucking computer, he's not even playing a real person, he's playing the fucking AI and going into this, like, nuclear explosion meltdown of anger. He's not safe to be around. Again, I don't know if that's true or just some kind of Twitter fan fiction, but what is true is fucking sports gamers are a different kind of salty in their game. It reminds me of the plot of Kingsman when Valentine put the chips in the phones that make people mindlessly kill each other to get the world's population down. I feel like Valentine could have done the same thing by just making everyone play Madden. They would have been at each other's throats and the world would have been in chaos. But yeah, anyway, this clip just made me really upset and I wanted to just kind of talk about it a little bit and let people know that it's not okay. I don't know why there's like kind of a decently sized portion of people on Twitter arguing that what he did is perfectly justified and the kid may have had it coming because the kid impeded his ability to play the game properly. Like, it's crazy. Twitter is the most wild fucking place I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. There are other people arguing like, you can't say he's a bad father, you're only seeing a 40-second clip. He could be one of the world's best fathers who just had a slip-up. You stupid shit stain. This isn't a slip-up. A slip-up was when you accidentally say damn or shit around a child. Not, oh, my controller died. Time to go scream in the face of a baby. That's not a fucking slip-up. It makes you a psychopath and a terrible father. You can absolutely say, this man is a horrible father based on this clip and this clip alone. This is abuse. It's not just a mistake. He is abusive. And he broadcast it. I can absolutely say that with a high degree of confidence because it is right fucking there. I don't know why people are victim blaming an actual baby. It's so Twitter-like. I mean, it's so in line with Twitter, it's impressive. No matter how dumb the fucking take you can think of is, you will find it on Twitter and find people that wholeheartedly believe it. Twitter is just, it's crazy. What a crazy cesspool of degenerate scum. Fucking nuts. A mistake! Oh no, don't get mad at this father, he just made a mistake in a heated gamer moment. So fucking stupid. What's next? Gonna start excusing people for beating their wives? He lost his Madden game. It only makes sense that he went and put his hands on his wife. It's Twitter, just, there's no end to how low they'll stoop with the dumbest fucking takes imaginable. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because it was really, really frustrating. It made me extremely mad to see. And I do hope the story with the wife kicking him out of the house is true. And really happy to see the quick action Twitch took in banning him, so that's also very good. And yeah, really, that's about it. See ya. It's not your birthday, or if it is, I wasn't invited to your party, but I brought you a surprise anyway. A trashy streamer who hit a pedestrian whilst driving distracted and most likely high out of her mind. And she's not a Kick streamer. I know, right? Kick right now is probably just wiping sweat from their brow like, whew, finally. A crime that was streamed that wasn't on our platform, pumping their fist in the office, shaking each other's hands like they won the Super Bowl. She is a YouTube streamer, so let the celebrations commence at Kick. The Gatorade showers are probably in full effect over there. She streams on YouTube, and from what I can tell, and I've only gone through like 3 of her streams, her entire streams revolve around how degenerate she is. She's usually very fucking high. According to the community that watches her, she does meth pretty often before driving. She's always on her phone while driving. It's where all of her content takes place, so she's always looking at chat, getting donations, very distracted driving. And she also had an incident where she was doing Spark deliveries and giving groceries to a customer, and her dog is in the back seat with all of these groceries and ends up peeing on the chips and taking a shit on the other groceries with an entire worm that pops out of its ass like it's a scene out of Ozzy and Drix. And how does she respond to that? She wipes the worm off of the groceries and then still delivers them to the customer who had no idea. I'm going to show you both of these clips here. I'm going to start with where she hit a pedestrian yesterday.
He does hear those voices. They're not fake, but I wonder sometimes. Oh my god, are you okay? No. What the fuck did you do? I didn't see her. Why are you not looking? I was looking. I didn't see you. What the fuck? I'm telling you, I did not see you. Okay, Ann? What the fuck? Just tell me how I can help. Well, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, you guys. I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't good.
What do you mean you don't know what just happened? Are your eyes lagging? Is this a latency problem like the ping's too bad so your eyes haven't caught up with what's going on here? Is your brain stuck in Narnia? You just hit a human being because you're too fucking busy talking to your stream. You're not paying attention to the road. What's actually surprising here is this is one of the few times in all the clips I've seen where she actually is looking forward as opposed to like looking elsewhere and looking at her phone, and yet somehow she still doesn't see that there's people in front of her and she hits one and then I guess still can't make heads or tails of what just happened. It's craziness. You are distracted and driving. It's a recipe for disaster. Luckily she didn't kill this person, I don't think. Now she has been arrested in the past, but this I don't think she's faced anything from yet, because she still is streaming, like even after this incident, and she has changed nothing about her stream.
I plan on it. I plan on it. Can I park? Can I park?
Alright guys, here's your content for the day.
Ah, yes, the content of hitting a pedestrian. Top shelf shit. Thanks for delivering that. She's a menace. She is a danger to everyone around her. She should not be allowed to drive. Period. Full stop. From everything I've seen, she is not safe to be on the road. And she is certainly not safe to be doing fucking grocery deliveries.
No, get off of it, dude.
The worm that came out of the dog's ass has nothing on the worms that infest this lady's brain. A normal person would have seen what happened here, and it's not like she didn't know what happened. She literally cleaned off a fucking worm from the groceries, and they would have canceled the order. Because there's a level of decency with people where they wouldn't want to just fucking poison a stranger here, I don't think. At least, I'd like to believe that. But she's built a little different. She's constructed in an unorthodox manner. After wiping the worm from the groceries, she believed that everything was A-OK and primed for delivery. No mention at all to the customer about all the piss and shit on the groceries. Like, at the very least, you could say, like, hey, so my dog's in the car, and he kind of had, like, a field day with his bowels on your food. Also his bladder. Just want to give you a fair warning in case you don't want to consume dog piss and shit. Just thought you should be aware of it. But no, she's like, hey, here's your groceries. Hey, have a good day. Bye-bye. Make sure to leave 5 stars. Appreciated. And then goes right back into her car to continue the stream. That is so foul and filthy, and it's criminal. Like, you can't contaminate people's food and not, like, at least warn them about the potential outbreak. Like, we could be dealing with, like, the goddamn T-virus that spawns from this when the lady eats the piss and shit-covered groceries. Like, it's so gross. It's so disgusting. Even the dog looks out the window and is probably just revolted, like, oh, jeez. Yoo-hoo, pardon. Oh, goodness, she's not going to deliver those groceries. I just shat on them. That would be so foul. Oh my god, she's doing it. No, oh, please, Jinkies. Jiminy Christmas, my god. My owner's a fucking Neanderthal. She's a goddamn idiot. Like, even the dog is looking out the window concerned. And to be honest, I'm concerned for the dog. The dog doesn't seem to be in great health if it's pooping worms in the car. Like, I'm worried for that dog now.
Abby always wins sent $2. Can we talk about how Abby dropped the deuce on their groceries? She peed on chips. Is she okay? I think she needs to go out. Poop, 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 poop. Dog, 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 dog.
The chatters are also concerned about the dog after seeing that. And yet there's no mention at all about the customer who is going to unknowingly consume the dump doomsday that was just produced on top of their food. But luckily this streamer does have an answer to go ahead and calm everyone's fears about the food being ruined. I mean, it's just piss and shit. That doesn't ruin food, which she helps us understand.
So Abigail went out like 3 times today and she hasn't pooped, she's peed. Once at the vet, once before that, and then the nighttime, like 2 in bag. It was not on anything else I checked. I removed it. All is well. That's what bags are for, right? To protect.
Hey pal, you just blow into Stupid Town? You can't really wipe piss away unless you have sponge hands, which I don't think you do. And also dog shit and worms on top of the grocery bags that the food is in. Like, there's no telling what made it through, especially since it sat there for a little bit before you came in there and apparently scraped it off. That's not exactly the optimal sanitization protocol. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit you with the cold water. You didn't get all of it. I promise you that much. But she clearly doesn't view it as a big deal, probably because she's smoking dog piss every day and then going live on YouTube here, which is just a danger to everyone around her. My heart breaks for anyone that gets a delivery done by this lady. That shit is probably rancid. Like, I bet everyone who... Like, you could probably, as an epidemiologist, track foodborne illness outbreaks relative to how many deliveries she's made in the area. And you'd find a pretty crazy correlation, would be my guess. Now, she has been arrested before in the past. I did a bit of a dive on her history. She is a very interesting specimen, to say the very least. But as of right now, I don't believe she's facing any legal repercussions from the delivering contaminated food to a customer or the hitting of a pedestrian. I don't see any updates on that, but those are still relatively new. So, I guess we'll see, but man, what an absolute trash bag of a person. This is some awful garbage here. So yeah, I had to talk about this a little bit. I was stunned when I saw these clips. That's it. See ya.